Hot sauce makes your food taste better. Hot sauce for every kind of weather. Hot sauce for you and me. Pass me that hot sauce, please. Hot sauce.
Hello and welcome to Delightful, Delicious, Delovely. My name is Christina Lees, and today I am going to be making a vegan Mongolian beef. I'm going to make a spicy version because I like a spicy food. You could do this. I'm going to be using some leftover vegan roast beef from my recipe. I think it was number 6. Delightful, Delicious, Delovely number 6. I couldn't eat it all myself, so I froze a whole bunch. So I have thawed it out and cut it into, it looks like steak. It's kind of freaky. It looks a lot like steak. Into like strip steak looking stuff. You can do that. You can make your own. You can use seitan. You can use Gardein, makes a great faux beef, as does Morningstar. They're both vegan. I want to talk about something real quick before I get into the recipe, though. I'm sure anybody out there who is vegan or vegetarian has experienced the bizarre defensiveness people display, meat eaters display when you tell them you're vegetarian. You needn't even have to offer it, which is the cliche about vegans. Like, how do you know if somebody's vegan? They'll tell you in the first 30 seconds. You don't have to tell anyone. I gave up meat in the 80s, and often, I still ate fish though, but often I would be at homes or barbecues or whatever, and somebody would observe that I wasn't eating meat and inquire, and I would tell them, and then they would get defensive about it. So yes, everyone's heard that, and everyone's been asked, where do you get your protein, and that kind of thing, and people who raise their children vegetarian and vegan are being told it's child abuse, which is bullshit. But anyway, my greater frustration as I've been moving ahead with this channel, a 10-year-old told me never to call it a show. It's very dated. It should be a channel. And the 10-year-olds know. I get so much flack from vegans. Some vegetarians, but mostly vegans. Not all vegans, but some vegans, man. It's just a competition about who's more vegan than the next. And I have been attacked for everything from calling a faux chicken dish chicken, to not spelling pork, P-O-R-Q, to using products like Gardein and Beyond Meat and such, because those are processed foods, and processed food isn't good for you either, which I agree. I don't eat a lot of it, but I do indulge occasionally. Recently I was called a sicko for converting a Big Mac into my vegan Big Mac pizza. Literally, I was called a sicko. And also, that person also complained that I was still supporting factory farming because I used white flour. First of all, I didn't give the recipe for the dough, so I don't know how they knew I was using white flour, but it's really irksome, and I don't think it does the cause any good. My primary goal with this channel is to wean or teach people that are afraid of being vegetarian or vegan that there are dishes they can make that are delicious and won't make them feel like they're living on twigs and berries and lettuce and carrots. So yeah, everyone's got their fight. Everyone's got to do them. You do you, I do me. But the constant attacks. I mean, every time I get a notification that someone's made a comment, I get tensed and balled up because most of the time they're negative, which it's really frustrating. And yeah, I really don't think making a vegan Big Mac pizza qualifies me as being a sicko. So if that describes you, or if you're inclined to criticize a vegan, or especially a vegan who's already doing as much as they can, for their way of being vegan, for yelling at them for eating junk food, or yelling at them for eating processed food, or not, I don't know. It's just disheartening that it's a growing community, and I feel like it shouldn't be so much infighting. It's just fucking bullshit. It's the nastiest too. Honest to God, I feel like the vegans are the meanest. It's crazy. All right. So that said, please don't pick on me for my efforts to educate and lure some meat eaters with these dishes. And so yeah. Also know that I have to eat everything I make, so it gets to be a lot. All right. So what I have here is this defrosted, my homemade vegan roast beef that I'm going to toss with a little cornstarch. I'm going to heat this pan up Also I got yelled at for heating sesame oil. I got yelled at for using sesame oil. Most oils don't like to be heated. Olive oil loses its nutrients if you heat it. I guess sesame oil does too. I don't know. I'm using avocado oil because I have it, and it has a high smoke point, which means I'm using about, I'm going to call that a tablespoon. I'll let that heat up. It has a high smoke point, which means it doesn't burn. Some other oils burn more quickly, like olive oil. So this is some cornstarch that I'm going to toss this faux meat in. Cornstarch kind of makes a mess. I'm tossing it in here because it has a bit of moisture that I would like to try to eliminate. And also, I like to get it to have these faux meats that can get in sauces, they can get soggy and kind of give away that they're not meat. And I know also there are many vegetarians and vegans that think that eating faux meat is also disgusting, and they're offended by why we'd want to do that, and whatever. Don't do it if you don't want to do it. But fuck off and stop picking on me. Alright, so I'm doing this because I want to absorb the extra moisture on this faux steak of mine. Oh, the oil is smoking, as you can probably see. It's going to make a big splash. Okay. Oh, what a mess I've made over here. Yes, I've been, the kind of oil I use becomes controversial. People just need to get a life. I just don't know about the negativity. It's relentless and whatever. I'm ragging on it for too long now. Alright, so I'm just going to heat this stuff through, sear it on high heat. One of the secrets of making Asian foods is a very high temperature in your pan. I'm going to toss this around until it browns a little bit, and then I'm going to set it aside. I'll be back when it has browned a bit. Okay, that is looking nice and browned. Also, I say to people that complain about the processed food, I agree, processed food is not good, and I eat really remarkably little of it. I use a lot of it in this show because, as I said, I'm trying to coax some meat eaters on board. But even processed vegan meat is better than eating a real piece of real meat. I mean, just think of all the toxins and suffering and death that's in that. I think no amount of Beyond Meat and Gardein and whatever the fuck else brand you use is going to be worse than an actual piece of meat. So settle down. All right, this is ready to go. I'm going to put it back in the bowl. There's a little bit of extra cornstarch in that bowl. I'm going to leave it because it will be nice to have later to thicken the sauce. I just dropped some on the floor. Hold on. Oops. All right. Okay, now I'm going to add another, teaspoon of oil. It's avocado oil. You can use whatever oil you fancy. To it, I'm going to add a tablespoon of ginger. Again, I'm kind of a broken record. I'm heavy-handed with that. It's a big tablespoon. Woo! And it's popping. I hate that. Here comes Hayden. No, Hayden, don't. Well, that's a drag. Hayden, you coming to rescue me, Hayden? Hayden is my French Bulldog foster. Oh, what a mess this is making. This is terrible. Okay. And I'm going to add like 5 cloves of garlic. That's to taste. You can use more or less. Garlic burns quickly. So I'm going to give that a couple seconds in there. Wow with that. What a drag. What a mess. All right. Now, to keep that garlic from burning, I'm going to add 1/3 cup of cold water. What that effectively does is it sort of cold shocks the garlic. So the garlic flavor has been released because it got a couple of seconds in that oil, but now it won't burn. I'm going to add, that was a third of a cup of water. This is going to go really fast. I'm going to add a third of a cup of soy sauce. This is a low sodium soy sauce. You can use tamari, you can use liquid aminos. I'm going to add to this, as I like it, I'm going to add a tablespoon of crushed red pepper. You don't have to do this. You can add more, you can add less. You could have added some jalapenos in that oil if you wanted. You could also use either a sambal olek, which is a crushed chili paste, or a vegetarian hoisin sauce to make this add to this brown gravy. This is spicy. This has got a sweet thickness brown gravy kind of thing to it. They're both really good. Or, as opposed to crushed red pepper, you could use these dehydrated red chilies. They make things very spicy, but you really shouldn't. You don't want to eat them once the dish is cooked. All right, I'm going to add to this, because I have it, some shredded carrots. They're actually, what do you even call this? Yeah, shredded carrots. Just for some color. Okay. I'm going to add a tablespoon of brown sugar. Now this is also a taste thing. You could go heavier. I think most Mongolian beef dishes have quite a bit more than that. I think it's like if you had a cup of water and a cup of soy sauce, they do a whole cup of sugar. I'm going to go maybe a heaping tablespoon of brown sugar in there. I don't like a lot of sugar in my food. You can do it if you want to. All right. And I'm going to add this meat back in. And that cornstarch at the bottom, I'm going to scrape that in there too. And I'm going to add, it's pretty much done. I'm going to add some scallions. I know I beat this one to death, but this is 4 scallions in here. I'm going to use 2 more to garnish. The 4 scallions that I used in there, here they are in this glass, cut off like this in a little bit of water. I'm going to put them in the window. In a week, they'll look like this. And then I can plant these. I can either use them again or I can plant them with the little roots out in the garden. And that is it. If you want more sauce if you like a really saucy dish, just double up the soy sauce and water component. You could serve it with rice, white rice, brown rice, black rice, red rice. You could serve it over noodles. Over noodles. Or you could serve it with some steamed broccoli or over a bed of cauliflower rice. And anyway, that is that. Thanks for talking. Oh, by the way, the reason the pizza, my being a sicko, making that pizza even came up, I'm going to put this away for a second, pardon me. I'm back. The reason that even came up was my good friend Jared Blandino is the owner of a makeup company. He and his husband founded a makeup company called Too Faced, makeup that I wear a great deal of, and he was generous enough to have me on his YouTube show, which is called It's Happening with Jared Blandino. And he asked me he requested the Big Mac pizza. So we made the Big Mac pizza, and we made my muddled strawberry and cracked pepper gin and tonic. And I'll put the link to his episode of me as a guest on his show in the notes below, so you can watch that if you haven't already seen me do it here. He's a delightful human being. He's got a really great energy. They sold the company recently to Estee Lauder, and Estee Lauder is an animal testing company, I understand. Too Faced is not. In fact, they are transitioning any makeup formulas they have that are not vegan. They're transitioning them to be vegan. And Jared and his husband Jeremy still control the company. So don't believe the rumors when you hear that Too Faced is testing on animals. They never have and they never shall. That was part of the deal. They also can't change the formulas overseas and that sort of thing. So I asked Jared, I got this from the man's own lips. When you watch the Big Mac pizza thing, he's got a great Jaredism at the end. He's a very positive man and has a lot of positive energy and words to share with people. And I think the message at the end of that particular episode is very sweet, and I think it applies to most people. So this is my Instagram and Twitter handles. They are this is they, this is them, this is them. And I'm rambling, so that is it. Thank you for being patient with me. I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe. And yeah, until next time. Thanks. Bye.
An easy solution. Let's join the hot sauce revolution. Aha! Hot sauce, spicy and sweet. Hot sauce makes your meal a treat. Hot sauce, you can't go wrong. What will you do when the bottle's all